What is up, gang? It is I, Carlton Flowers, your crypto pro.
Yay!
And today we are going to check the charts of the Golden Moments collection. What we need to do is analyze what is happening right now to determine which direction this market is going after all of the FOMO and the pump after the release of the Disney D and the magic lamp from Aladdin. So here we go. It's Golden Moments time. Let's break down these charts. All right, so we're going to start out right now looking at the Disney D and the magic lamp, which are the two reasons for the pump that happened, where all of the golden moments shot straight up and then they started to settle back down. Are we settled down yet? Are we at a low point? Are we flattening out on the charts? Is this the end of the distribution period? Or are we still in the after effect of this drop? What's going to happen when the Mickey Mouse comes out on the Friday drop? Well, let's just check these charts right now and determine what we're going to see. And we'll have to watch very closely in the next couple of the days leading up to the Mickey Mouse drop to see if there is going to be a gem squeeze that could further pull down the prices. So jumping right into the Disney D, the first one right here, looking at the 3-day chart, we are finally settling down 185. We came up off of this peak where we were above $215. Let's look at the 7-day. Well, this shows a peak at $240. So overall direction is generally downward. I think we can say that coming off of this peak to today, we can kind of look at the fact that these peaks are all describing an overall downtrend. So we're not ready yet to say that the price of the D has settled down to a stopping point. Very interesting. All right, let's see here. Let's clear this out and jump to the next one, which is the lamp. By the way, I did not get this drop. I wasn't so lucky like I was on the last several drops where I landed the AF-15 ultra rare. I got the 300, what was it? The Amazing Fight Fantasy, whatever you call it. I did land that one. I got the common, but I wasn't so lucky to get my pair of the lamp and the Disney D. And I'm still pretty salty about that, but I'm hovering over this market and waiting for the right point to jump in. But I'm being careful because we can see here on the 3-day, we're at an all-time low, 105 gems. I was mad because I had almost picked up one on the market the same day at 100 gems. And before I could finish the checkout, my item was gone. So there was a glitch in the app. Now here on the 7-day, we can see that we were all the way up to 190 right here. And then we took the nose dive and we're flattened out. But on the 30-day, it just kind of looks the same here. So coming off this peak, the only thing that we can determine right now because of this dip here is that the overall downtrend is still taking place. Will it go below 100? I'm waiting on that. There's a possibility, but we cannot be for sure. But if it does, it's probably going to happen during the gem squeeze before the release of that Mickey Mouse interactive NFT. All right, pushing on along, Timon and Pumbaa. Where are we right now? We're at 78 gems on the 3-day chart. We can see a nice little drop off here. Pushing out to the 7-day, it looks pretty flat here, but it looks like we're taking that dip going back down to wherever the equilibrium price was. Now here we can see that we were in the midst of a downtrend. We had a bump up, come back down, and then we leveled off. And then of course there is the pump after everyone went bananas with the announcement that this was the last golden moment to be released. Now we are settling back down. So we didn't get that big of a pump with this one. If we go to the 90-day, we can see this a little bit more clearly that coming off of this $140 peak, we settle down, there's our pump, and now it looks like the direction is continuing downward. On the 180-day, it's very clear here. Wow, it's hard to believe that we were at 300, took this nice downtrend, short bump, downtrend continues, and now the Disney D and Aladdin pump is pretty small overall, and then we're continuing in the same overall direction downward. All right, so I've got one of these. I do have this item. I think I bought mine at around maybe 80 gems, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, moving right along. Here is Winnie the Pooh. Where are we right now? We are sitting at about 177 gems. Is that right? Okay, no, that's listings, 132. So here we are at 132 gems on the 7-day. We can see the peak was somewhere around 158 and pretty level after that. Looking at the 30-day, now we can see the effects of the pump. So we had the downtrend, the same bump up, downtrend, leveled off, Disney D and Aladdin lamp peak right there. And look at these peaks here. Lower highs all the way down. So it looks like we're still in the period of settling down. How far down will it go? Nobody knows, but it could dip back below 100. And if it does, I'll probably pick one up because I do not have Winnie the Pooh in my collection. Next on the list is Cogsworth and Lumiere, sitting at a current price of paltry 69 gems. Looking at the 7-day chart, it was pretty level, and now we're starting to fall off of the ledge. Here we can see the pump where we were nice and level here, sitting around 50 to 60 gems. There's our Disney D pump, and then since then we're moving on down. Pulling it out to the 60-day. Wow, look at that peak. We were at 100. This one hasn't done so well like the other items. There's our pump floating back down, and looking at the 180-day. The Disney D pump does not look that impressive as we were above 200 back in the heyday. Okay, 180 days, the same as the all. So we can move on to the next one. I do have Cogsworth and Lumiere in my collection, as well as Flounder, sitting at a current price of 107. Let's look at the 7-day. Very level, very solid. So this one looks like it's holding off after the pump. This one did not feel the effects. We were bouncing up and down. There's our leveling off, and then here's the Disney D pump. And since then, we can say that average price of between 105 and 110 is pretty consistent. So looking at the 90-day, there's the pump, which this one kind of survived and is holding its value. So it could be close to its equilibrium price. Now, this can be deceptive because we have the big drop off, the little pump, a leveling off. We went as low as 50 gems, but then we are holding strong right now, so we don't have much of an indication to know if this one is going to come back down again. Maybe it has hit the equilibrium price. These charts are very important. If you're just buying without looking at the charts, you're probably going to be leaving a lot of gems on the table. I mean, overall, considering where these things are going in the future, if we have that next parabolic pump, which I believe we will, it doesn't matter what you buy right now. But if you're stingy like me, patience always plays off. So current price is 191. I don't think I have this one in my collection either. Very level price on the 7-day. It's just kind of been hovering. And we can see here that we were close to 100 gems. And we have done very well. So we can just come straight into the Disney D pump. We come back down, but now we're kind of leveled off at the current price. So that's a solid chart right there. And again, we'll have to wait to see if the gem squeeze is going to bring this one back down. Now here on the 90-day, it does look like we are dropping off in price. We have this all-time high here above 280. And looking at the 180-day, wow, it's just amazing when you zoom out on the chart to get the big picture, to see the effects of FOMO coming down off of this 600 gem peak, settling down, intermediate pump there, leveling off, Disney D pump, and now a slight angle downward. I'm going to wait and see if we can come back towards 150, and then I'll consider picking this one up and adding it to the collection. I'm not trying to complete everything with the Disney Golden Moments. I don't need to have a whole set. That would be too much of an investment for me, even though I've got a pile of these things. I think I'm approaching 1,900 overall items. Lady and the Tramp, I do have the rare in my collection. Current price sitting at 129 gems, and a steep drop off happening in the last few days. The 7-day looks pretty solid. 30-day shows us the pump after the Disney D, where we were very level, sitting around maybe 80 to 85 gems. Here's our pump. Excuse me. Not too much of a correction and coming back up, but now the direction is moving downward. So looking at the 90-day, let's see here. We did get pumped back up to nearly the June high, where we were sitting at 180 gems. Let's look at the 180-day here and see if it looks any different. Wow, not too bad. Hard to believe that we are at 400 gems during the FOMO, the previous pump. And looking at the all-time history, hopefully this will give us that. Yeah, it does take us back to early winter when we were above 1,300 gems. That's just insane. 1,400. All right. What I do like about this chart is the long period of time that we were coming down here, small bump, and then flattening out. We kind of have a bowl effect and not too much on the Disney D pump. So this might settle down just a little bit, but overall, this is a good chart. We want to see something like this, a big smiley face, because that tells us that we may have hit the bottom. According to the Disney Golden Moments, it looks like that we have ended the distribution phase, but I'm not ready to call it because the other items, which I'll be reporting on later on when I do a general market update, it still looks like we are moving downward with certain key items. Donald Duck, I do not have this one. I would love to have it. Current price, 158 gems. On the 7-day, slight downward action. On the 30-day, not too much on the Disney D pump, where we only moved from 135 back up to about 180. And then here on the 90-day, a nice leveling off. At the end here, it looks like we might have found a good equilibrium spot. And on the 100-day, 180-day does look like we're near a bottom and starting to creep up. Let's look at the overall. All right. Look at that. 1,600 gems at the peak and a nice trip downward, slight bump, and then here's what looks like a nice little smiley face bowl action. So again, these golden moments look like they might have found their bottom. Let's move it on along. We are at Chip and Dale. I do have a Chip and Dale in my collection. Current price at 191 gems. Let's look at the 7-day. Very nice. Straight across the board, holding a strong flat price. The 30-day shows our pump where we were down here as low as 102, and we more than doubled, peaking out at 240, and then we're coming down and looking at a nice flat average price just under 200 gems. What's the 90-day look like? Let's see here. 90-day shows a nice kind of jumbled up flat period here where it looks like we're slightly moving downward right now. Maybe it could continue to float down just a little bit heading into the gem squeeze. The all-time high shows a peak of around 600 gems. And then let's look at the overall. Yeah, still 600 gems on the all-time. So there we have it. That was a nice pump after the Disney D there for the Donald Duck. All right, partner statue, here we go. Partner statue is at a nice solid price here of $52.99. Looking at the 7-day, it looks like it's kind of moving up ever since the pump. 30-day, I think the Disney D pump is right here, so there wasn't too much of an effect since the price is a little bit elevated on the partner statue. But it does look like a nice recovery from this low point of $38.99. I almost would consider buying again if it dipped back down to that price, as we know where it's going in the future. The 180 looks like a nice flattening here. I don't expect too much volatility on this item as we look at this all-time high, nearly $50,000. That's quite an investment. If you had the wherewithal to know to sell and get rid of this thing during a peak. And that is why you should set your goals before you hit a parabolic run. Because if you're waiting until these peaks, it's going to be very hard to unload an item during the rapid dive that happens when you hit that all-time peak. So the partner statue from this chart looks like it's leveling off, and it may not dip downward too much more after the current point. Okay, moving right along, we've got C3PO. And we'll just zip through this pretty quickly because it should be similar to the partner statue. The 7-day shows that we're sitting at a little bit below 445 right now. The 30-day shows our Disney D pump right here coming down, but then moving back up. It looks like it's on an uptick. Looking at the 180-day, we see our peak here above $2,000. And movement downward with a bump, downward, and then a flattening off. On the all-time, good Lord, 5,000 gems at the peak. The rapid nosedive after the distribution period. And then it looks like a nice bowl action, as it looks like it might be just creeping up. So this is pretty solid. And one thing that we do know, the golden moments are a little bit different than all of the other items because we know that we're capped off. This is the end of it. So people are going to be scrambling to get their hands on these items. The 7-day chart, let's just start with the 7-day here. We have a nice nosedive coming off of nearly 1,000, heading down to the current price of 917. The 30-day kind of shows a smooth pump here after the Disney D drop and moving upward. So this is some strong action. Very impressive. Looking at the 90-day, slight uptrend there. So we're holding off pretty strong on price. And then the 180 shows the smiley face, the bowl action right here. And our all-time takes us from the peak of nearly 1,000 or 10,000, I'm sorry, and jumping all the way down 10x to the current price. All right, what do we have next? I do hold this one. I've got not C3PO, R2D2 is in my bag. Let's see. We won't go through all of these. Avengers logo. Let's just look at the 7-day. Not too much of a pump on the Disney D drop, but overall, it's looking like an uptrend. This is one that I probably should have plucked off when we hit this low point here at 157. So we had a nice double after that pump. We may have missed a boat on picking this one up at that all-time low, but who knows? If we can get an extended period of time for the distribution period, it could happen. Overall price coming down, slight bump, and then the dip. And I don't know, this could dip down just a little bit. We might head back towards 200, maybe not. But again, I don't think I'm going to get my chance of picking this one up at 157. I should have struck and picked that one up while I had the chance. Hindsight is 2020. Iron Man, let's go to Wally. I wanted to pick up Wally at 115. Looking at the 7-day, we see a nice flattening of price. The 30-day should show us what happened after the pump. And there it is right there. Slight downtrend. All-time low was at 105. Oh, man, I should have picked it up. But when you consider that this thing could be, say, 1,000 gems on the next peak, you probably shouldn't squabble over, say, the current price of 170 and letting it go down to 105. I mean, spending an extra $60 to gain, say, 900 to 1,000 gems is probably a pretty good investment, which is not financial advice. Please keep in mind, this is just commentary. But we have a nice flattening here. It looks like we could be close to a resting point at an all-time low. Let's see, what do we have left? Let's skip around and go to the Pizza Planet truck, which I do have in my collection. Let's just go straight to the 30-day on this one. There's the Disney D pump. We had the all-time low here, 135, sitting at 240. Not too bad of a recovery. Looking out at the 180-day, overall downtrend with this bump here, and it looks like it's creeping down just a little bit, so we don't know if we're done yet. But this is a nice flattening period, looking pretty strong. Overall, I feel good about my Pizza Planet truck. The Mickey's Sorcerer's hat. I do have my Mickey's hat still. Let's just jump to the 30-day. It was down here at 359 gems. And then we moved from, what, 409 to almost a double at 729. And price bumping up around. We're staying above 600 gems. And we have overall an uptrend going on since that low point. Not too much of a drop off after that last bonanza that we experienced. Okay, so all-time high was 6,000 gems. I considered selling it and picking it back up, but I got cold feet, and I'm kind of glad I just sat on it. Most of these things, I'm just sitting and waiting because I'm not too big of a flipper. All right, let's just pop over to Elsa, and we'll end it up on Bart and Homer. Let's look at the 30-day on Elsa. We had this low point back here of 290. Nice bump on the Disney D drop and leveling off above 400 gems. Overall uptrend after the low point. So Elsa's looking pretty good. And on the all-time, slight downtrend after this bump here, but it looks like we're smoothing out and leveling off. All right, last but certainly not least, we have the Homeroom Chart, which I do have. I had two of these from the drop, sold one, and then sold the second one for, I sold the first one for a 3x, sold the second one for 900 gems, bought it back for 211 gems. All right. Let's look at what happened after the Disney D pump. We were down here at 225, jumped back up to 255. Looks like it's holding off strong. The 90-day looking kind of nice here. Not too big of a pump after the Disney D drop. On the 180-day, we should see, yeah, nice flattening going on here with a little bump up. And overall, look at the peak here. We were above 2,000 gems. Sailing on down, slight bump, and a flattening off here. So like most of the rest of the collection, it looks like we're probably not going to go too much farther down. So overall, we need to wait and see what happens on the drop coming up on Friday, which, oh man, I've got my fingers crossed. I hope I pick one up. If I do, I'll definitely go back and pick up the Disney D and the Magic Lamp. Maybe I'll get those at the bottom point. I might pick these up late Thursday night, with hopes of getting the Mickey animated. So we'll have to wait and see what happens, and I'll probably do a drop day preview on the animated Mickey Mouse. I'm excited about that. So there you have it. That's all we've got. The golden moments are looking good. Very solid. When I do the overall market report, I'll show you how the rest of our items, the majority of them, are not at a leveling off point. And that's why I'm waving the caution flag on the general state of the market, saying that we might not be done with the distribution period. Now, one thing you need to watch is what's going on with Bitcoin. And for all of you fans who love to watch these VeVe videos, you're not watching my Bitcoin updates. Usually I see about 1,000 to 1,500 views on the VeVe reports, but I see 100 to 200 views on the cryptocurrency and BTC market update. Now, the reason why you need to start paying attention is because I am reporting what is happening in cryptocurrency in general, which is the underpinning. It is the foundation, the structure that is beneath these VeVe NFTs, the underlying structure of the blockchain. These items are on the Immutable X blockchain, as you know, which basically the point is what happens in crypto can and will affect the market prices of what we have here. And what I'm going to be reporting on next with my Bitcoin update is the speculation about what the next rate hike will be coming from the feds. If it's a 100-point rate hike, we're going to see another market crash. If it's 75 points, we might see a slight dip or even a rally, which could mean that we solidify where we are with the VeVe market. If we hit that 100-point rate hike and we see another crash in the stock market And in the crypto market and a surge with the DXY, it's probably going to have effects on our markets here. So when you see that report, you're going to know, should I be going bananas buying everything now? Or should I wait and be very careful and pluck off the outliers, the desperate sellers that are selling far below the market floor prices? That's why you need to be watching my BTC updates. So that's my tip of the day. Well, that's all I've got for now, but I would love it if you would like, comment, and subscribe to Crypto Pro channel. I'm glad to have all of you here. Please comment below and let's talk about the Golden Moments collection, and let me know if you're going for the drop on Friday and if you believe that we have hit the bottom on the Golden Moments collection. Thanks for watching. That's about all I've got for now. Stay tuned and I will have a general market update coming your way in a flash. This is Carlton and I am out.